If I had to pick 3 keys to my success, it would be number 1, never be embarrassed. Never care what people think other than the people that you care about. And sometimes you can't even fucking care what they think. Never be embarrassed about what you really feel and your truth. Always prepare. Always prepare like your life depends on it. And if you want to be a professional, compare yourself to your competition. Look at what they're doing. And if you're not doing at least as much as they're doing, then you'll never be able to beat the people that are already winning. And don't expect anyone to give you something, because it doesn't help them to give you something. You're taking their position. You got to take something. Take it. Stop waiting to be given. Don't wait to be given something. And don't stay on the same block too long selling the same drug. You're not inspired if it don't get you high no more, because you should be using the drugs you're selling. And do something else and find another drug. But I'm not saying drugs. I'm saying, parallel example. Trying to speak in a different lingo so everyone understands. The thing about teaching is not everybody speaks the same language. So, I might say one thing to one person makes them feel good. Them same words may trigger somebody, some kind of unrecognized trauma, because we all go through different things. So you have to know how to speak to people. If you play video games, I'm going to talk to you in video game. If you play art or you paint, then we talking in art. If you sell drugs, I'm going to talk to you in that too. It's just language. Don't hate your enemy for playing better than you. You got to admire your enemy when they outsmart you. Just don't let it happen twice. But I be looking at shit I'm like, damn, the way they got the culture controlled is clever. I'm not mad at them. They're in survival mode. They're scared. I'm mad at us for going for the gaff. And also understanding in today's time, everything is different. So racism is going to be different. It can't be so overt. It has to be in a way of trolling. So look out for it in that way. And colonizing will be different. So Web3 is a new world. It's a new kind of land. So you can't let them control the narrative there and make it think that we got to buy it from them. We have to make sure we put our stake in that world. And don't let them translate it, because they won't put it in the language that makes us comfortable to learn. Our people have to translate the new things to our people in the language that we know they understand. And don't be mad at people because they ask questions or because they're trying to give you some kind of advice if they've done something that you're trying to do. It's hard for me to say listen to people that haven't done shit. If someone's done something, just because you don't know why, if it doesn't make sense, if you respect them, do it anyway. Some people don't listen until it clicks. That's not respect. Respect is when you listen when you don't understand it. But you better really respect somebody if they're doing it. But, that's what it is. If you want to know more, then you'd have to come see me speak or go to my television network or look at one of my movies or listen to one of my records. And you'll learn in whatever language. I'll meet you in the metaverse. I'll meet you on a record. I'll meet you on a painting. I'll meet you on some clothes. Whatever language you want to speak, I'll talk it to you. I'm part of something called the OSG. It's 200 Black Principles and more. It expands every day all over the world. Number one, I do a Zoom with them every Tuesday about entrepreneurship so that they could teach the kids entrepreneurship and how to dream, so on and so forth. And then they all get together on Thursdays and just talk about what the Board of Education isn't doing so that we could do it on our own. Because if we stick together, we could do anything. And I feel these principles need to be celebrated because those are the ones that's fighting for us and not even trying to get any credit because they're just trying to survive. And those should be the ones that we consider our superheroes, the ones that are working when they don't have to. The ones that are teaching our future, which will soon be our present, and will be teaching their future. We got to make better parents by teaching them as kids. And, that's where I'm at with it right now. As far as concerns go, I call them my biggest awarenesses because I don't like to be concerned. That's how you manifest shit. But I'm aware of stuff, so I make sure my children know what to do and what not to do. So daughters, don't trust dudes at all. They all gonna do is tell their friends. I'm a hater. I break all codes of dudes when it comes to my daughters. I tell them everything that a dude is gonna do and what they're gonna say when the girl's not around and what they want, why they want it, the whole nine. You know, for my sons, if you get with a girl, make sure, ask her how her relationship with her father is. Because if she has daddy issues, you're gonna pay. It's better to have a girl with a balanced, parents, or else you deal with all the issues that, because what happens is when you love somebody, you're the only one that'll listen to their problems. So they take out everything they don't say to somebody else that's bothering them. You catch all that shit, they overreact. And you don't want to be that person to the person you love, and you don't want to be the person that receives on the other end of that. So I know where the happiness lies. The hardest thing with my children is for them to even listen to me. So the shit that I say that people really appreciate, it's like they've heard it so much they're numb. They almost want to do the opposite. So having your kids listen to you is my biggest challenge, is my children. My biggest concern is my kids don't listen. That's my biggest concern. That's the thing I'm concerned about. They don't listen to me, period. Country's always divided. That's going to be an algorithm. Nothing's new. It's a funny time, I don't know where America's going because right now there's a battle for a narrative. And I think the ones that were losing culturally were us, and we're a lot smarter now. So, I think that the world would be a better place if more of us were landlords. And not just for us, but for everybody. See, a lot of people don't know what it feels like to be the boss. They don't know what it feels like to own something and to be able to make rules. Just think about it. If you could make the rules, what would they be? And they would probably be fairer than the rules that exist now. I'm curious to see because for the last 3 generations I've been speaking, no one's been listening. But this generation does. I'm being celebrated now where I wasn't before. I was being ridiculed before from my perspective because everyone was scared. They wanted to be in survival mode. They didn't want to mess up their position. They looked at other people as the plug, other cultures. Now we know that we are the plug. Now it's cool to be independent. A lot of people think like now it's crazy. Nah, when it was slavery, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you had to sit in the back of the bus and people was getting water hosed, now that was crazy. A lot of the injustices that we see now, that shit was happening all the time. Imagine what the world looked like before social media, when no one could tell the truth. This is, to me, the best time. See, like I said, there's that yin and the yang thing. So currently there's some bullshit going on, but when currently wasn't there some bullshit going on? You know what I mean? So it's always going to be bullshit, always. Never think the world's going to be a perfect place. Never think the world won't be divided. Never think there won't be challenges. When that happens, you're in heaven. It means you're dead. You know what I'm saying? But until then, understand that everything is a test. Stop fucking complaining and just figure it out. That's it. Don't be concerned. Matter of fact, embrace every challenge. I'm not concerned. I'm looking forward to it. When you brace your face, it's way easier when you get hit. Acting like shit's supposed to be sweet and crying every time things don't go the right way, that's not the way to look at things. Just compare your existence to what it looked like before. Think about before there was a dentist. How did we live then? Before Nova came. You know what I'm saying? What did life look like before you could go to before air conditioning, before toilets was in the house, before electricity? You know what I mean? We have we don't have the challenges that our forefathers came up with. All I know is they worked so hard it would be disrespectful to think this time is so much worse than before. Get that leather on your back and be called a name like Kuta Kente and then talk about is the world crazy? So I don't look at it. I just compare now to before. It's a lot better than it was. Wasn't a black president ever before. Wasn't a black vice president, woman. A lot of different things. Whatever they're doing, whether they're doing it right or wrong, in our black brain, we never thought they could be a black president. My kid will never, ever have to deal with that. So I remember being 8 years old and being like, I could never be the president. I'm black. They'll kill me. It won't happen. And my teacher validating that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, why has it only been a white president? They were saying there only should be a white president. That was the perspective. That's what the teachers were telling me. That's why I didn't listen to him. I was like, I should be the president. I'm the coolest nigga in the world. And if you're gonna be the coolest, if you're gonna say you're the coolest in the world, be the coolest. If you're worrying, you're not the coolest.